This is gonna blow your mind. Before we dive into the incredible story of Thomas Cochrane, make sure to like and subscribe to Global Gateways and hit the bell button to receive all our latest updates. The name Cochrane, whispered in taverns where the flickering candlelight casts long shadows and the air is thick with the scent of ale and sea salt, roared from the decks of warships, where the sound of crashing waves and the creak of wooden planks blend with the triumphant shouts of sailors, a name synonymous with daring, with brilliance, with a touch of madness. Thomas Cochrane, a man whose very presence commanded respect and whose strategies baffled even the most seasoned naval officers. They called him Le Loup des Mers, the Sea Wolf, a moniker that struck fear into the hearts of his enemies and inspired awe among his allies. He was the terror of enemy fleets, a master of unconventional warfare. His tactics were as unpredictable as the sea itself, turning the tide of battles in ways no one could foresee. Cochrane was cut from a different cloth. His approach to naval warfare was revolutionary, often defying the traditional methods of his time. He saw opportunity where others saw only defeat. His keen eye for strategy and his ability to think several steps ahead made him a formidable opponent. He was the epitome of audacity on the high seas. His bold maneuvers and fearless leadership inspired his men to follow him into the most perilous of situations. Cochrane's life was a whirlwind of adventure, a tapestry woven with threads of daring raids, cunning strategies, and fierce battles. Each chapter of his life reads like an epic tale of heroism and ingenuity. He defied expectations, challenged conventions, and left a legacy etched in the annals of naval history. His actions not only changed the course of battles but also the course of naval warfare itself. From the shores of Europe to the coasts of South America, his name became a legend, a beacon of inspiration for those who dared to challenge the status quo. His influence extended far beyond the waters he sailed, reaching into the hearts and minds of future generations. Cochrane's story is not one of mere battles and victories, it is a saga of relentless pursuit of excellence, of pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible. It is a testament to the indomitable spirit of a man who refused to be bound by the limitations of his time. His resilience and determination were as unyielding as the ocean waves he navigated. It is a tale of courage, of innovation, and above all, of an unyielding belief in the power of one man to make a difference on the world's oceans. His legacy is a reminder that true greatness is achieved not by following the rules but by daring to rewrite them. Prepare to set sail on a journey through the extraordinary life of Thomas Cochrane, the craziest, most audacious sea captain in history. His story is one of unparalleled adventure, a testament to the human spirit's capacity for greatness. Born into a family with a rich naval legacy, Cochrane's destiny seemed intertwined with the sea from the very beginning. His ancestors had served with distinction, and the stories of their exploits filled his childhood with dreams of maritime adventure. Cochrane yearned for the sea from a young age. He would spend hours gazing at the horizon, imagining the vast oceans and the adventures that awaited him. His fascination with ships and the sea was evident even in his play, as he meticulously crafted toy boats and staged naval battles in his mind. He joined the Royal Navy as a young man, eager to prove himself and live up to his family's storied legacy. The Navy offered him a chance to turn his dreams into reality, and he embraced it with fervor. His early career hinted at the unconventional brilliance that would define his legend. Even as a junior officer, Cochrane displayed a keen intellect and a knack for strategy that set him apart from his peers. Cochrane chafed under the rigid traditions of the Navy. The strict hierarchy and adherence to outdated tactics frustrated him, and he often found himself at odds with his superiors. He saw the potential for daring, unorthodox tactics. Cochrane believed that innovation and audacity were key to naval success, and he was determined to prove it. He believed in speed, in surprise, in exploiting the enemy's weaknesses. His approach was to strike hard and fast, catching the enemy off guard and creating chaos in their ranks. Cochrane's first command was a testament to his audacity. Given a small, lightly armed cutter, he saw it not as a limitation but as an opportunity to demonstrate his tactical genius. With this modest vessel, he waged a one-ship war against enemy shipping. His daring raids and relentless pursuit of enemy vessels disrupted their supply lines and sowed fear among their ranks. He harassed their supply lines, captured prizes, and earned a reputation as a fearless and resourceful commander. His successes were not just in the number of ships he captured, but in the psychological impact he had on the enemy. Cochrane's tactics were unorthodox, bordering on reckless. He often took risks that others would shy away from, but his calculated gambles paid off more often than not, but they were undeniably effective. His ability to think outside the box and adapt to changing circumstances made him a formidable opponent. He understood the psychological impact of a sudden, unexpected attack. Cochrane knew that the element of surprise could be as powerful as any weapon, and he used it to great effect. He knew that confusion and fear could cripple an enemy as effectively as cannon fire. By keeping his adversaries off balance, he was able to achieve victories that seemed impossible. Cochrane's early exploits marked him as a rising star in the Royal Navy. His daring and success on the high seas earned him both admiration and envy, but also as a maverick. His refusal to conform to traditional naval tactics and his willingness to challenge authority made him a controversial figure. He was a thorn in the side of the Admiralty, a constant reminder that the old ways were not always the best. His innovative approach often clashed with the conservative mindset of his superiors, but even his detractors couldn't deny his effectiveness. Despite their misgivings, they had to acknowledge the results he achieved and the impact he had on naval warfare. The legend of Cochrane, the Seawolf, had begun. His early exploits laid the foundation for a career that would become the stuff of legend, inspiring future generations of naval officers. The year was 1803, a time of great turmoil and conflict. The Napoleonic Wars raged across Europe, reshaping borders and destinies. Amidst this chaos, Cochrane, commanding the frigate HMS Speedy, was tasked with harassing French shipping in the Mediterranean, a mission fraught with danger and uncertainty. The Speedy was a small vessel, outmatched by most enemy ships in terms of size and firepower. Yet Cochrane, undeterred by these odds, turned this apparent disadvantage into a strategic advantage through sheer ingenuity and boldness. He disguised his ship, flying neutral flags and altering her appearance to resemble a harmless merchantman, a tactic that required meticulous planning and flawless execution. Then, when close enough to the unsuspecting enemy, he would unleash the Speedy's firepower, capturing or sinking the enemy vessels in a sudden and devastating surprise attack. It was a game of cat and mouse on the high seas, and Cochrane was the undisputed master of this deadly game. But his most audacious feat was yet to come, a daring encounter that would etch his name into the annals of naval history. Off the coast of Spain, the Speedy encountered the Spanish frigate El Gamo, a ship that was both feared and respected. El Gamo was a formidable opponent, boasting more than twice the size and firepower of the Speedy, a true leviathan of the seas. Any sane captain, faced with such overwhelming odds, would have chosen to flee and live to fight another day. Cochrane, however, saw not a threat but an opportunity, a chance to achieve the impossible. He ordered his crew to prepare for battle, instilling in them a sense of purpose and determination. They fought with a ferocity born of desperation and unwavering faith in their captain, knowing that their survival depended on their collective resolve. Cochrane employed every trick he knew, using his ship's superior speed and maneuverability to outflank and outfight the larger El Gamo. He used his ship's speed to outmaneuver the larger El Gamo, raking her decks with devastating broadsides that left the enemy reeling. After a fierce and bloody engagement, the impossible happened, a moment that would be remembered for generations. El Gamo, outmatched and outmaneuvered, struck her colors in surrender, a sight that filled the hearts of Cochrane's men with pride and relief. Cochrane, against all odds, had captured a warship twice the size of his own, a testament to his audacity and tactical genius. The capture of El Gamo cemented Cochrane's legend, a story of courage and cunning that would inspire future generations of sailors. It was a feat of seamanship and audacity that resonated throughout the navies of Europe, a tale of daring that spread like wildfire. The Seawolf had become a legend, his name forever etched in the annals of naval history as a symbol of audacity and brilliance. The Mediterranean became Cochrane's hunting ground. He disrupted Napoleon's supply lines, preyed on French shipping, and struck fear into the hearts of enemy captains. His name became synonymous with unpredictable, lightning-fast raids. He was a phantom, appearing from nowhere, wreaking havoc, then vanishing into the vastness of the sea. One of Cochrane's most daring exploits involved a daring night raid on the French fleet anchored in the Basque Roads. The French ships were protected by a formidable system of chains, booms, and sandbanks. Cochrane, however, saw a way through. He devised a plan to use fire ships, unmanned vessels packed with explosives, to break the French defenses. The attack was launched under the cover of darkness. The fireships, guided by daring volunteers, sailed into the heart of the French fleet. The explosions ripped through the night, sowing chaos and destruction. Cochrane, leading his squadron through the breach, engaged the French ships in a furious, close-range battle. The Battle of Basque Roads was a strategic victory for the British, crippling a significant portion of the French fleet. Cochrane's role in the battle, while controversial due to disagreements with his superiors, cemented his reputation as a brilliant and innovative tactician. Cochrane's naval exploits earned him fame and accolades, but also enemies. His outspoken nature and disregard for convention brought him into conflict with the Admiralty. He was a thorn in their side, a constant reminder that the old ways were not always the best. In the murky world of British politics, Cochrane became embroiled in a stock exchange scandal. Falsely accused and unjustly convicted, he was stripped of his rank, imprisoned, and disgraced. The Seawolf, once a national hero, was now a convicted criminal. But even behind bars, Cochrane's spirit remained unbroken. He refused to be silenced. He wrote, he campaigned, he fought for his name and his honor. Cochrane's imprisonment was a travesty, a blatant attempt to silence a man who dared to challenge the establishment. His story is a reminder that even the most celebrated heroes can be brought low by the machinations of politics and the jealousy of lesser men. South America, a continent ablaze with revolution. Spanish colonial rule was crumbling. New nations were struggling to be born. It was a land ripe for adventure, a place where a man of Cochrane's talents could make a real difference. In 1818, Cochrane, his reputation tarnished but his spirit unbroken, accepted an offer to command the Chilean Navy. He saw an opportunity to strike a blow against tyranny, to fight for freedom and justice on a new stage. Cochrane arrived in Chile to find a fledgling navy in disarray. He quickly set about whipping it into shape, instilling discipline and sharing his vast naval knowledge. He knew that to defeat the Spanish, he had to control the seas, and control the seas he did. Cochrane's arrival in South America marked a turning point in the wars of independence. He brought with him not only his tactical genius, but also a sense of hope, a belief that even the most powerful empires could be challenged and defeated. The Seawolf was loose on the Pacific, and the Spanish would soon learn to fear his name as much as the British had.